Coffee stains and name of chains. I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode. This is not a main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and name of chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode.
What up? What up? We back. Good morning, everybody. Today we got some mock coding interviews. Pretty much somebody from Ireland, a HubSpot intern, is going to run one on me. And then we have somebody who's interviewing for Citadel. So we're going to try to ask them some Citadel type questions, and then yeah, we'll just go from there. So those are a couple things on the agenda, but we got to do a little bit of prep because somebody's gonna run a mock interview on me, and I got to make sure that I perform. So you'll see how I prep a little bit before my actual interviews. This is kind of the process that I always do. How's everyone doing tonight, though, or today, this morning? Send this to chat. So what's up? I'm doing good. How about yourself? Happy Sunday. I don't know if it's Sunday for you. Anyone do the contest today for Code Forces? I want to see how did I perform? Solve till D. Nice. Yeah, I like Padish. I like Padish channel. It's sick. Did you just find my channel yesterday? So I always hop on his live, so I'm always on his streams, asking him what he's up to. I know he just got his internship. He's grinding tonight. He's on the same grind as me, so I'm always tapped in. You solved till D? Who solved till D? Damn, it's open hacking. Yeah, I think I only solved till D as well. Why did you solve D also, or Nice. Oh, you solved D. Yeah, I solved D. How did you solve D? Yeah, thanks for tuning in, bro. We're gonna do some mock interviews today. A HubSpot engineer is gonna interview me, then we're gonna interview somebody who's prepping for Citadel, and then yeah, just go from there. Probably just leave it at that and then do more studying. Atharv, like, what are you studying for? How many legal questions you solved and everything? What's your stats looking like? Yeah, I got PK codes. Lev, what's up, man? It's dry out here. Abdul, do you know PK codes? Let's grind. Let's get it. We just have to do a little bit of prep. I don't have Union Find here. Nice. Give me a Union Find. I'll go in Python and describe. Yeah, he's running a mock on me, so let's see how I perform. I just need to do a little bit of prep. Just make sure that I'm on point. Gotta make sure you're good. Give me. So I have all my data structures here. So these are all my templates. This stuff that I study right before I hop into a question or hop into a interview. What's the strat for Q3, Q4 on code signal? I haven't done code signal since like early 2020s, man. Roadmap for quant? I'm not a quant though, but a lot of people on the channel are quants, so maybe we can ask them. How's the audio and everything? Everything's good? Join. Alright. I'm in the Google Meets. And then we'll see. Tweaked. What school do you go to? How does your chat GPT look like that? I'm using the browser. Alright, yeah, we're up. We're up. Damn, you did a lot of questions. You were able to upsolve Q4? Congrats, man. Yeah, that's my goal. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna upsolve Code Force. I'm gonna upsolve Leak Code Contest. But sometimes it's better to just. Damn, this guy did a lot of questions. It's better to just do like zero track. But it's fun upsolving the questions. Just see where you're at. All right, let's just study Union Find real quick. Chat, what do y'all do to prepare for, like, your interview's coming up? What do you do right before your interview? Do you study? Do you go for a walk? Do you stretch? Do you do some breathing? Okay, let me study real quick. Crack maxing. You do push-ups? These days you gotta do everything. You gotta go for a walk. You gotta do some push-ups. You gotta pray. You gotta do everything right before the interview. Rank eyes up or down in the height. Root the eye. Okay, all from 0. So when you call find on X and find on Y, what it's gonna do is it's gonna loop. So the parent is always gonna be itself. Let me read this code. So every node is its own parent. Then we say for parent, if the parent X is not equal to itself, then okay. If the rank is less than the rank of Y, I wonder if Rodman is here because Rodman is the one interviewing at Citadel, so I need to just make sure that we set him up nicely. I'll probably ask him just code force questions because that's what they like to ask. Or he said like design type questions. I got a few design questions that I could ask him. Yeah, I can do a video on prefix sums. Prefix sums come up so often. In code forces, it came up like 2 times this contest. Yeah, honestly, it comes up way too much. It should be a standard topic. There's a lot of variations. Alpha, you doing any coding interviews today? Like, how many do you got in your schedule? And anybody interesting? Going for any interesting companies? Where are they interviewing at? Oh, okay, you're getting that guy prep. Let's see how much better he does. I asked that same question to somebody interviewing for Airbnb, and he destroyed that question in like 15 minutes. So, like that out of memory one. So that guy is super prepped up. No, because code forces they have specific. They create edge cases that are super nerdy. Like they'll make edge cases that have a lot of hash collisions or something, and it'll make your thing TLE. So like you kind of the yeah, it's different than leak code. But honestly, leak code is more annoying in the way that they'll just give you random outputs. So in code forces, they'll never give you a tree and the tree has nothing in it. They'll always it was the input is usually always well formatted. Versus like leak code, they always find like the dumbest edge cases. Like, oh, we're just gonna pass you nothing instead like an empty array. I mean, you gotta handle that in real life though. So I guess. I'm about to do the interview soon. He's joining in. Just give him a few minutes. He said in the next like 10 minutes he's good. So I'm just doing some prep. You need to do time complexity proof. What's isn't it like pretty much O1 for all the operations? I don't think so. Because of the compression and stuff. If the rank of the root is less than the rank of root y, let me say the parent. Okay. Damn, trying to memorize solutions right before the interview is more stressful. I actually wouldn't suggest doing this at all. Like I don't think I'm retaining anything reading this. What do people usually do to practice? Let me just cook up like a quick. No, usually the main question that I would do right before an interview is number of islands, just to brush up. So usually I would just like try to pump this out as fast as possible. So write out the process. So the process is clarify. Yeah, you can ask newbie questions. Clarify requirements. Oh, run number of islands too. I've never heard this question in my life. Oh, yeah. I'll do that someday. How do I choose the guest? Oh, I just saw his channel, so I messaged him. I was like, yo, run one on me. Run a mock. How do you choose your language? Honestly, go with Python. Python is being used everywhere. All the big AI labs are using Python. We use Python. Fan companies use Python. Everybody uses Python. I think that's a good starter language, and then you can get into some other languages too. But definitely also learn a type language like C++ or Java. I need to. They say it's bad to jump to the solution. Yeah, for sure. Don't jump into the solution. Start with brute force is a myth? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think starting with brute force is a myth. At least saying it out loud is not a myth. Usually I just try to think, well, I don't know if I think of the brute force, but I'll think of like the easiest thing that comes to mind, then try to optimize from there. And like I don't try to think of complicated solution right away. But yeah, you should. I'd never write it out. I never type out the brute force. But I find it helpful to think of a brute force. And when I see people skip the brute force, it doesn't turn out well for them. From what I've seen, I don't know. Why do you think it's a myth? What's your rationale for that? Yeah, learn TypeScript, but like TypeScript is just you need to learn JavaScript first. So learning TypeScript was hard if you don't know JavaScript. So there's a couple things you need to learn there. Yeah, don't waste so much time on the brute force. You should come up with the brute force, figure out where it's breaking, and then optimize from there. And some questions naturally you can go from brute force and optimize, but some questions you can't really do that. You need to really reframe the problem, think about it a different way in order to solve the problem. So, who's the best guy you interviewed on this channel? Probably Alpha. Second would maybe be damn. Bro, I made a video on this, top of 2025. The Waterloo kid comes to mind. There's been a lot of people who aced the interview, but there's been people who flop. Super Cracked is really good too. Oh yeah, there's like a Grandmaster. There's a lot of good people that hopped on. There's a lot of people who failed, a lot of people who did well. So these are the top interviews of 2025 though. Yeah, Paul was good. Super Cracked. I would say there's probably like 10. You want to be interviewed? All right, hop into Discord or email me at Castle Ridge Labs. I can run an interview. Gotta make sure I get this, dude. This is kind of the rubric. Yes, sir. No, I'm not gonna really do too many mocks, but this one somebody's running a mock on me. My main focus is grinding to Grandmaster on Code Forces right now. Did the candidate dry run or clarify? Yeah, I need to make sure I clarify. It's been a while since I did one of these interviews, so I just gotta make sure I run through the proper, like the proper process. Discuss one or more working solutions. Yeah. Dry running when I was interviewing for yo, what's up?
Hello?
PK Codes, what's up? Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, James?
Nice to meet you, bro. How's life over there in Dublin?
Uh, it's pretty cool. Like I'm in Dublin City University, so
Yeah,
I'm in second year now, just learning the usual stuff you learn for computer science. To be
grinding.
honest,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just grinding. Obviously, I'm on this YouTube now, trying to inspire people, trying to help people out with coding interviews and stuff.
sure. Yeah, I like
And
your content.
thank you. But right now I need to set up I think we're gonna go onto this platform called StreamYard. They tend to be it's gonna so that we can locally record your camera, my camera, and the screen.
All right,
All right, so I'm
works
just
for
gonna get that
me.
set up right now. Yeah. All right.
Did you just wake
Let me
up?
see. Huh?
What time is it there? Oh no, it's late over there, right? It's like
Yeah, it's later. It's like 7:30 p.m.
damn.
hmm Well, I'm just really tired to be
Yeah.
honest.
Are you in a
Really tired.
dorm or you're like at
No,
home?
I'm at home right now. I live really close to my university, so uh, mhm. I'm trying
See,
to
hopefully I
see.
don't get folded.
Let's hope so. I seen you do court forces, don't you?
I've been doing more of it, yeah. Have
So
you?
like how
Have you
many
tried it?
uh never tried it. I just do normally code. What's like the
Yeah.
difference? I heard it's like competitive programming, right?
Yeah, it's competitive program, but if you have good leak code fundamentals, you'll be able to just hop in and do some of the questions. But the main difference is you have to a lot of leak code is like brute force thinking. Like you kind of like enumerate all the possible solutions and then like you do a lot of simulation like if they give you some algorithm you kind of just simulate it and come up with the best answer versus you have
Mm-hmm.
to kind of figure out like some math equation half the time otherwise you're going to TLE in code forces but the math is not honestly that hard like if you do
Okay.
it trains you to think in a different way that's why I enjoy it.
Okay. Fair enough. I think I'll look into it. I just haven't really been interested in competitive programming. I just wanna
Yeah,
like keep my fundamentals of data structure and algorithms for interviews, to be honest.
yeah, honestly that's I didn't care about competitive programming but some like you hit a certain limit from just doing lead code because the questions are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it there's like diminishing returns, but if you start doing other platforms, you still get better gains because you see other other questions that you're not used to seeing, so you still improve.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Did you send it?
That's it.
Or
No. I just realized I don't have the. Because if I wanted to use it now, I'd have to use it with a watermark. Otherwise, I pay like €100 for a week, and it's like crazy.
do you have
So I might have to
OBS?
just use
Just
it.
record it local.
Yeah, I can use OBS. Yeah, unless are you recording your camera?
Yeah, I can record it for you too.
Yeah, if you can do that, then that's perfect.
Yeah, let me get you up on the
Alright,
screen. One sec.
perfect.
And then like let's just use coder pad or something then. I'll pass you coder pad.
Yeah, I have. Oh, I have a coder pad already made.
Okay,
Do you?
yeah.
All right.
Okay, let me get you up on the screen. Let me figure out how to do this.
Okay. So I think I'll just record my. I'll just record my screen and my camera.
What's this?
This should be fine. Yeah, this should be fine.
You got work tomorrow?
Hmm?
You got work tomorrow?
College tomorrow.
Oh, so you're
Yeah, I got you.
okay. It's tweaking because I'm on. I have a bunch of things recording. Figure this out.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, cut this.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Well, I was just getting you on my screen for the recording.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So how does this work on your side? Like, what is it like? Your cameras?
I don't know. Are you looking at my Are you looking at my stream? Open up my stream on your phone or something. You'll see.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. I got
Okay.
you up on my.
Oh, you actually do have your.
Yeah. It's played around with OBS. This is how I usually get guest up on. Chat, can you
Oh,
hear him
okay.
good?
We should check and hear me.
Yeah, I'm ready if you want to send the link, and then I'll just ask
Cool.
chat if it's good.
Cool. It's just my microphone's like blurring out the thing.
Yeah. I'll send
Let
you the
me.
clip. Like I'll record on my side, I'll send it over.
All right. Cool. That's perfectly fine. Can we? Let me just look at this. Oh, it's because I don't actually have a green screen. Do you have a green screen?
Yeah, I got a green screen.
Yeah, because I don't actually have a green screen. It's
Yeah.
trying to just like
Yeah,
guess.
it's all good.
Okay. Good.
I put a background remover on your thing, so it's worse than the green screen.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll send over the coder pad now.
But usually, if you have good lighting on the back, it will because it will contrast with you at the front.
Oh yeah, true, but the lighting's not the best right now. It's
Yeah.
pretty dark. So okay. Would you be able to like put like my actual face, not the green screen face, or do you want
I
or is
could
that
put
just
your
like
actual
you?
face too.
Yeah, just
Like so it's not blurring like this.
yeah, just so it's not blurring, yeah.
Yeah. Should I put you on the side, like up here or something?
Yeah, let's see on the okay, I can see your screen now. You're on the top left.
Should I put you on the top left? Where do you want to be?
Put me both. Put me bottom right, you bottom left.
That's good. Oh yeah, that's your format.
Yeah. That's yeah, how I do it.
Sick. All
All right.
right. Good.
Alrighty. Let's get into it. All right. We're gonna have a 40-minute timer, but I'm gonna send you the link now.
Yeah, let
Is
me
there a
know when to
chat in
record.
the Coolio?
Damn, I'm nervous.
Coolio. When's the last time you've been interviewed?
Like somebody ran an interview on me, probably like 6 months. I don't do much really. I interview people though, so but like
Okay.
being on the other side, not that often. Only when I'm switching jobs, and last time I switched jobs like a year and a bit ago.
Oh, okay, makes sense. I wanted to ask you a few questions about Meta, but I'll probably ask that. I'll ask that for you.
Some milk.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. So
Let me,
you can start recording now. I'm gonna like give like a little intro,
wait, let
and
me
then
fix
yeah,
you up. I went to
kill
the
you up.
side.
Let me check put your shoe on my right side.
Perfect. Wait, let me fix it. I just went off camera on the meets just because it lags if I have two cams on.
No
All
problem
right.
at all.
Did you send
Uh,
the meets?
Yeah, I sent the coder pad. I sent the coder pad to your James. To
Oh, on
your
LinkedIn?
James. Sorry, to your LinkedIn. Yeah.
Get it.
Right. Let me put a timer.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Start. Have you started recording?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give a mini intro. Okay. 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Today we're back with another mock coding interview. But today I'm going to be interviewing a Meta software engineer here, James Peralta. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So would you like to tell the channel a little bit about yourself first before we get in?
Yeah, so oh, hold up. Let me join in as a candidate.
No problem.
Would I
Just
hold
get
up, let me-
joined up and then I'll.
Yeah. Well, we can run the intro again. Don't worry, I do this all the time too. Like in the middle of the stream, give an intro. Joining as a candidate. Why do I have to give my email? Oh, it's all good. All right, we in.
Okay.
Y'all start it up. All right, 3, 2, 1, ready.
All right, cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing another mock coding interview, but this time with a Meta software engineer here, James Peralta. So would you like to tell the channel a little bit about yourself before we get into it?
Yeah, so my name is James. I do lead code and code forces content on YouTube. I've been out here in the Bay Area for the last 5 years working across like startups and now in big tech. But honestly, I just like to grind questions and do system design for fun. So I started recording myself, and that's kind of what the channel is about. Just learning random stuff and talking about it.
Okay. Good stuff there, man. It looks like I'm gonna have to bring you in for a system design interview soon, maybe.
Oh yeah,
I might have
100%.
to.
I might have to prep it up a little bit though. It's been a minute.
Okay. No problem. I'll let you know ahead of time anyways. But yeah, so I'm gonna start off a 45-minute timer and then I'll give you the question, okay?
All right, let's get it.
Okay. So
A
start
little
it off.
nervous. It's been a minute.
Don't worry about it. All right, let's go. Okay,
Just letting that fold in.
so I'm going to give you an array of integers, which may include negative numbers and an integer k. Your task is to return the number of continuous subarrays whose elements sum up to exactly k. And I'm going to paste it in just like that for you.
All right. Okay. Let me take a look. First thing I want to do is kind of read over it, make sure I understand the question and clarify if there's anything that I don't understand. But we're gonna be given a integer, or we're gonna be given an array of integers, and it can include negative numbers. So probably like some array 1, 2, -1, 3. What we want to do is return the number of continuous subarrays whose elements sum up to exactly k. So like a contiguous subarray is you can't. It's like any subarray where you can't delete elements in between.
Continuous, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the same definition, yeah.
Can't. Okay.
Mhm.
So like the most brute force approach that I'm thinking, and we'll come up with a way to optimize it, and it would be O of n squared would be like just generate all the continuous subarrays. So that would be O of n squared, and then from there just have a result count where you're incrementing the result every time you see. So it'd be increment, or it would be O of n squared, and you increment the result every time you see a continuous subarray that's equal to k.
Okay.
That would be O of n squared, but
Okay, that'll definitely work, but we
yeah.
can definitely do a bit better.
So I'm
100%.
thinking of optimizing it would be, let me think, because it is like a monotonic function. If you add up all the arrays, like I'm thinking of sort of like a prefix sum approach, where because if we add up all the elements, we know what the total is up until that index.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just need to know what can I subtract off the current sum in order to reach k. And
Okay.
if I suppose, so let's just calculate a prefix sum here, like 1, 3. Wait, is this monotonically going? Can we use a prefix sum? Let me see. This will equal 2. This will equal 5. This will equal 9. So this is a prefix sum, right?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 5, 9. So if I know that the sum of this array is equal to 5 and I'm looking for a k equals 3, I just need to be able to cut off any time that to the left where it ever equaled 2, because then if the prefix was ever 2, 5 minus 2 would equal to 3, and then that would count up the number of times that I can create a subarray with this index. And I could kind of do that for every single index, and then I would store sort of a dictionary where in the dictionary we have the prefix and then the count. And then I would also just add those up.
Okay.
But then I would also think of the case where like the current prefix sum is equal to k already. So I need to handle
Mm-hmm.
that case as well. That makes
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, this approach makes sense, but I wonder how would you handle that case of the subarray sum equaling to k?
Well, I'm gonna start off a variable with the prefix sum, so it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
start at 0, and I'm gonna just that's how over as I'm incrementing from left, or I'm going from left to right, I'm just incrementing that prefix sum, and I just check if it's in there. But then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think if I just have a variable, if that variable ever equals to k, I just increment the result as well.
Okay. This could work. So you're saying if k, okay, so if the prefix sum is equal to k already,
Yeah, like the
then you're
total.
gonna.
Before I ever look into the hash map, I'm looking if the prefix sum that I created is equal to k already.
Hmm, okay. Okay. Yeah, I understand.
What do you think? Should I go ahead and start implementing that, or
Um, the I think the prefix sum approach can definitely work. With the whole handling the k equaling the current sum, um, I'm not entirely sure that would work. I feel like there's a better way we can handle that, but I believe the way you're saying could actually work. So I think we should test it out before we can, you know what I'm saying? So we should definitely
yeah,
test it out. So yeah, go ahead and go with that
okay.
solution.
So let's just start writing some of the code. So we're probably going to be given a function, and then we're config arrays k, and we're going to be given some array, and we're given some k, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the result, or these are the inputs based on what we have here. Then I'm going to
Yes.
start a prefix, which is going to start at 0. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to have a hash map that's going to contain the prefixes we've seen and the counts there. So
Okay.
we'll just call this like current sum. And then prefixes, some hash map. And then we'll test it on some cases to just make sure it works. But
Okay.
one sec, let me move myself from here because it's blocking the code. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to actually loop through the array. So
Let me actually ask you this about that approach that you had there of if the current sum is equal to k, then you're just going to increment immediately, right?
yep.
Is that what you said? Now, what if we had a case like this where we had -1, 1, sorry, 1, -1, 1. And so then the sum right now would be 0. Then we have 1, 1, 1, and k was equal to 3. 1, 1, yeah, like this. So k was equal to 3, right? By definition, your prefix up until now, you would have 0.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get up to here with these 3, k, your current sum would be equal to 3, and k is equal to 3. You would only increment once.
Oh no, like I would increment by 1, but then also check the hash map after. So in the hash map,
Okay.
there's gonna be like a prefix of 0,
Mm-hmm.
and it might show up as 1 that we saw 0, 1. So I know I'm 3. I know
Mm-hmm.
my current sum here is equal to k, but then I also want to check if we've already seen if we can chop off anything from the actual array. Pretty much the
Oh.
main check that I was checking is just checking that
Mm-hmm.
like like the full array is that we're at is k or not. I'm handling that edge case, and then I'll be checking like has there been any prefixes that are equal to 0 specifically.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see. I can see what you're talking about now. You're checking the hash map as well as checking the current sum against k.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. Go ahead.
So with prefix sum, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have some result, like I mentioned, that we're gonna return. But what we're gonna do is for a number in array, what we're gonna do is prefixes. So we're gonna start off here. We're gonna do current sum plus equals the number. Then we're gonna do if the current sum is actually equal to k, then we're gonna increment the result. And then what we're gonna do is we don't want to add that prefix in right now. We'll probably do that after. But then what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna try to check what's the current sum and then what's the k. So if the current sum is 10, for example, we want, and k equals 5, say current sum equals 10 and k equals 3, then I need to look for, I need to remove 7.
Mm-hmm.
Remove 7 in order to get my result. Yeah, I need to
Okay.
I need to remove 7. So I just take current sum minus k.
All right.
equals current sum minus k. Or let's see. Yeah, left part is pretty much the left part, the different indices in the left that I want to remove, and I do
Okay.
if
Yeah.
left part is in prefixes. What we're gonna do is result plus equals. We're gonna take our prefixes and left part.
Okay.
Then what we're gonna do is if left part, or if the prefix. So this will increment our result based on, so if there's multiple 7s we can chop off, that'll create like those subarrays that we want, but now we want to add the prefix in. So we'll take if the current sum is equal to, or if current sum not in prefixes, we just add it. Sum or equals 1, else increment. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So here you're adding the prefixes into the map. Okay, you're adding the prefix into the map after you process it. Okay.
Adding to the map. Checking full array. Checking full array. And then here is, given my index, how many different subarrays can I create out of it by like chopping off some prefix. Prefixes. Something like that. How's that look?
Okay. Yeah, the logic here makes sense with the how many prefix can I remove, adding to the map. That all makes sense. My only concern would be the checking the full array if it's equal. But I believe you'd get an off by 1. But let's see if it works. I could be wrong, genuinely.
Yeah. I mean, let's run it on some test cases.
Yeah.
So we'll run it on some test cases. Oh, go ahead.
Let's talk about it like this, right? In the array, if we wanted to remove, let's say we're like in this case here.
Yeah.
Can you see? In this case here at the top, line 9. With these 3, we want to actually ignore the whole array. Basically, we want to ignore everything.
Yeah.
So then that means that we want to. So specifically for that case of ignoring everything, could we like just have like a base, kind of like a base case, like we just start off with, let's say, as a prefix of 0. We know we definitely have one prefix of 0 because because an empty array is 0. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I believe if we had this would not, this would lead to us not having to do this extra check here, because k minus, what's it called, cursor minus, given your algorithm, cursor minus k would be 0. And then we'd already have 0 in the map, which means we'd have one prefix sum of 1 of 0 in the map already. So then we just increment by that, and that check would be then redundant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it. We can run it on this test case also to just make sure, if you want me to do a dry run, but unless you have another question that you want to ask me.
No, this makes sense. We can run it with the way you have it right now. Yeah, we can set up.
Let's see what we expect.
Yeah.
So what do we expect here? You want 3? So we expect 2
with this.
Yeah, we expect 2, right?
Let me just take a look here. 1 to 3. We could either skip the first. Yep, 2. Yeah, so I believe right now it would give you 3.
Interesting. Let's see. Give me 5.
Hmm?
Tweet. Let's see. Give me 5. Let's see. Okay, let me debug this. Wait, 1. So we're looking for 3, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me do a dry run quickly. And just to clarify, like, are we doing multiple questions or just one question? Because then usually that'll
I
change
will
my pace.
I will be asking a follow-up.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna be given -1. So what would this look like as a prefix sum? -1, 0.
Okay. Sorry? You're just
Oh,
thinking, okay.
this might actually be, so if we do a prefix sum here, right? -1,
Okay.
0, -1, 0, 1, 1, 1.
Sorry, I did make a mistake. Yeah, you do expect 5 with
Okay.
that test. That's my mistake. Yes, we
Yeah.
do expect 5 with that test. For sure.
If this is 5, yeah.
Could you walk me through how it would be 5, given your
So
algorithm?
yeah, for sure. So we have our current sum, right? Um, so this is, we're essentially generating this prefix sum.
Mm-hmm.
So we started off with 0, and then let's start here. We're gonna have a hash map. We're gonna start off with our empty hash map.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is current sum equals 0, everything's empty, and result equals 0. So what we're gonna do is, first off, we're checking the full array. So we're gonna take the current sum and we're gonna plus equals the number. So current sum equals to 1. That's not equal to k, so we're good. Then we're gonna look for -1 minus k. That's not in there. So we continue. -1 minus, or -1 minus 3 is -4, which is not in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then add to the map the current sum, which is currently -1. So we say -1. We've seen this one time we initialize. Okay, then we move on to the next. So we're going to take our current sum and we're going to add 1 to the current sum. So the current sum then becomes 0. And then we check, is 0 in the result? Or is it equal to k? That's pretty much checking without looking into like the other subarrays that we've seen or the other prefixes. So 0, is -3 in there? No. So we put 0 equals 1. Then we go to -1 again. This takes our current sum down to -1. -1 equals -1 equals let's see. It doesn't equal to k, so we go to left part here. We get current sum. That's -4 again. Doesn't hit here. So current sum not in prefixes. It is in prefixes. So what we do is we increment. So -1 goes to 2, and then this becomes 0 again, and then this kind of increments to 2. So I'll just walk through it a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get 1 here. This becomes 1, 0, or 1, 1. This becomes 2, 2, 1. And essentially, when we get to 3,
Yep.
or sorry, yeah, when we get here to 3, this will become 3, 1. But I think, sorry, I went too fast on that. So I think we
No
have
problem.
-1. We have -1 and -1. We have 2 of them. 0, we have 2 of them from here. So now we're at 0 again. So let's go to 1. 1 is not equal to 3. -4 is not in there. So we're gonna have to increment 1 becomes has 1 result. Now we current sum equals to 2. So 2, let's see, 2 is not equal to k. 2, what's 2 minus k? 2
It'll be
minus
-1
3,
in this case, yeah.
yeah, 2 minus k is equal to -1. So yeah, if we're at 2 and we could remove all the -1s, that would actually give us some subarrays there. So 2 minus 1 equals -1. So this is, now the result starts to increase. But actually, it might have increased on the other one as well. But since we have 2 -1s, we're gonna have result equal to 2.
Mhm.
And then we'll do current sum 2 equals 1. And then finally we get to 3. Current sum equals 3. 3, we increment, since 3 is equal to k, we increment this to 3. And then there's 2 zeros, so we get 5. So that's kind of how we dry run it.
Okay. Okay. It's,
Make
okay,
sense?
that makes
Or
sense. Yeah,
anything
makes
else?
sense. 100%. Yep, that makes sense. And yeah, your check for cursor equals k seems to work perfectly fine as well. So yeah, that's could you talk about the time and space complexity of the solution then, please?
Okay, so let's look at the time complexity. So essentially, this is going to be of O of n algorithm, or O of n for the loop, looking through all the arrays. This is O of 1, checking the full array, left part and prefixes. This is O of 1 as well, with the hash map.
Mm-hmm.
So like in total, O of n would be my time complexity. Space complexity would be probably the only thing that can grow in space is this prefixes. So this would be O of n as well. Just because there could be a bunch of prefixes, different prefixes. Like if every single element is different, then this could pretty much get as big as the number of elements in the array if everything's different. So O of n time and O of n space.
Okay. Okay. Well done. Yeah, that seems about right for the solution. O of n time and O of n space. I just kind of had like a question. It's more like discussion. Typically when people see these kind of problems, they'd see that that is immediately, oh, we can just use sliding window. And I feel like that's like what everybody would jump to immediately with this problem. But could you tell me why you believe sliding window doesn't work in this problem?
Why sliding window would not work on this problem?
Would not work, yes.
Let me think. Let me see.
Mhm.
So it might not, because of the negatives. I think the negatives is what messed it, what's gonna make it not possible. Because usually with a sliding window, you want to keep growing the sliding window up until it hits some condition, and then you could safely say that it hit this condition, and we can start moving the left pointer up. But
Mhm.
since there's negative values, technically you could continue to just increase the sliding window
Mhm.
till it gets to some point. So a sliding window would probably break down here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
That's something, that's what I was thinking as well. All right. Well done on this. But my next question would be, now let's think about, instead of having to get the counting the sum rays of sum equal to k, let's talk about the returning the length of the minimum length subarray that's equal to k. So let's say in in here, for this example here, line 41, for k equals 3, we would be returning 3, because the minimum length of a subarray that's equal to k is 3. So how would you change your algorithm to, instead of returning the amount of subarrays that equal to k, instead returning the minimum length of a subarray that is equal to k?
Okay, minimum. So minimum length of subarray
Yeah.
equal to k. So essentially, when we're looking at this subarray, what we're doing is we know that there's a subarray here, or with the zeros essentially. So we know that we can start a subarray here, we could start a subarray here, or we could take the subarray, which is the length of the array, right?
Mhm.
So now we don't care anymore about the longest or the number, right? That's that we don't care about the number anymore. That's not part
No.
of the question anymore. Okay.
Yep.
So pretty much since we don't care about the number, there's no point in storing the total amount we've seen. And we could, if we just store the index of the where we seen that prefix last, we could just know the length, like where we seen it last. We could minus like our index minus where we seen it last, and then that will give us the sort of the length of the shortest one. Because, for example, we've seen 0 here, but then if we seen 0 again, there's no point in storing to know about this, that we can chop off a prefix here of 0, because that's always going to be longer than if we chopped it off here.
Mhm.
So we would just convert this to storing the index of when's the last time we saw that prefix. And yeah, we'll do the same calculation we have right now. We'll store, instead of result incrementing here, we'll store like we'll try to maximize some value or minimize some value. And then pretty much in every place we store the result, we'll check the minimum.
All right. Okay, cool. This approach makes sense, definitely. Now, how would you change your code to accommodate this follow?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is since we're trying to get a maximum, we're gonna do float infinity. Or sorry, we're gonna get a minimum. I like to start it off at float infinity and try to minimize that value. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna care about the index now. So I'm gonna enumerate on the index. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say result equals the min result, the current index. Well, I guess just the current index plus 1, because the index is 0 indexed. So if it's
Okay.
equal to k, that's the size here. How many prefixes could I remove? In here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to track. I'm gonna also get the result of the minimum. If the left part is in there, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take the current index. So the distance between the current index and where the last index was. So I might have to plus 1 there, but so if I'm at index 2 and the last one was at index 0, well, okay,
Mhm.
that's 2 away. So I'm minimizing there. And then here, when I'm updating the map, I'm just storing the index of the last time I saw. So now in the map, every time I see a prefix, I update my prefix or the last
Okay.
index where I saw that prefix to the index now.
All right. So would this be all for the code?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this code will definitely yeah, this code makes sense for solving that follow-up. So, but in that if statement from line 72 to 75, we are doing the same thing on the if and else.
Mm.
So is that necessary?
Yeah. If prefix is not, if the if and else, yeah, we can go. Yeah, the only thing is we just need to initialize it, so we can just do like prefix. So just initialize it. Because in
Okay.
Python we'll get a key error, but I could also use like a default dict. But
W- Well, I guess initialization would be used if we were like counting on a previous value of it. But right here, we're just directly assigning. So will we get a carrier?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because
Okay.
I wasn't looking in it. Yeah, I
Okay.
wasn't accessing. So this one, yeah, probably clean it up there.
Okay. Perfect. Well done. It's called. Can we run this through a case then, please?
Run it through a case.
Yeah, run it through a test case, please.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you one now. Okay. I'll give you the. See this, and the k is equal to 2.
Okay. So we'll do a dry run on it.
Yep.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the minimum length of subarray equals k.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want a dry run or just run the code on it?
If you'd like to dry run first, go ahead.
Okay.
Guess it'd be easier to catch looks. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just. So we're given a current sum that starts at 0 again. Prefix is empty. What is the result? The result is equal to 0, or this result is equal to negative infinity because we're maximizing. I'll probably bring this case upwards. That's easy. So the minimum length of the subarray is equal to k. The current sum is equal to 0. Okay, we initialize everything properly. Now let's just start actually executing here. So we start with the pointer at 1. So that'll turn our sum to 1. The current sum is not equal to 2. So we continue. Then we're looking for 1 minus 2, which is negative 1, which is not in there. So we do 1, and then we store the index, which is at index 0. Then we see a 1 again, that increments to 2. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2, so we're at index, or we're at 2. So 2 is actually equal to k. So but we're at index 1, so that actually minimizes our result. Our result becomes 2 here. And then what we do is now we're looking for 2 minus 2 equals 0. We're not seeing that there, so we're going to say 2. We see 2 where 1 at index 1. Then we come to the third index here. We're going to increment to 3. So now we're at 3. 3 is not equal to k, but we do 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. We see there's a 1 at the 0th index. So the current index is 2 minus where 0 is. 2 minus where, so that equals to 2, which is still not lower than the current result. So result stays at 2. And then, but we're at 3, so we're going to say we saw 3 at index 2. And then 2 here, we get 5. And then since we're at 5, now we do 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. So we saw 3 at index 2. So 3 minus index 2 equals 1. So this should actually update to 1. Yeah, because we can remove this off. And then afterwards, we store 5 here. 5 is equal to index 3. And then we just return 1. So the subarray ends up being 1.
All right, that makes sense. Could you run it now through?
Sorry, like, oh, run it on the code.
Yeah, run it actually through the code.
All
Yeah,
right.
the dry run seems fine. Let's just see how it runs through the actual code. Any bugs?
2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Lovely, lovely stuff here. All right, all right, all right. And does our time and space here change?
Beast mode, leak code, beast mode.
Does the time and space complexity change?
Yeah.
No, I think it's still ov n. Yeah, it's still ov n because we're just looping and then we're just storing the prefixes. So it's
Indeed.
the same algo.
All right, perfect. Indeed. Now, how would you return the actual subarray, which has a minimum length, and not just the length?
The actual subarray.
Yes. So in this case, at line 65, you'd be returning just a list containing 2.
Yeah. So pretty much as I update my result, I'm gonna want to keep track of my left and right. And then
Mhm.
if I could keep track of my left and right, then I could just like print that out, like access array from left to right. So essentially every time I update my result, I'll want to keep track of my current index. That'll be my right. And then
Mhm.
if there's a left, I want to keep track of that left as well. And then I'll have to access like the original array to like pull that out.
Okay. All
Does
right.
that sound
All right. That makes sense. Now, could you change up your code to do that? Just want to
ew? No, it's good. All right, that's good.
see.
This is a hard one. This is like 5 follow-ups.
Yeah,
This one.
you're going through them pretty fast, so I'm just gonna keep asking you follow-ups
Yeah, let's
until you
go.
break.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hmm.
All right. Is there even more follow-ups after this?
Uh, don't worry, you'll see.
Okay, let's see. All right. So we're going to the left and the right. Okay. So we're gonna store left and right equals none and none. And at the end, we're gonna print pretty much array. We're gonna return this, but it's just left to right. Probably like +1, because it stops at the right.
Hmm.
So what we're gonna do here is I don't want to have too much if conditions. So what we're gonna do is if we'll do is smaller. Like if it actually should update. So we're gonna have the current size and best. Right. If the size is less than the best size, then return true. So this is if it's smaller. So if the size is less than, because we're minimizing, then we're gonna return true.
Hmm.
Otherwise, return false. So let me just hack it in, and then we'll figure out then. If the result if the result or sorry if the index +1, this is the current size, is actually less than the result, then we're going to update the left and right, which would be probably like the 0th index, and the right would be the current index, like that. I could probably move this if statement into the top one, but
Okay.
similar here. If it's smaller, what we're gonna do is if it's smaller, um, So we're gonna do this. This is the length of the array. If the length of array is actually smaller, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna store the prefix left part and the current index.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is right here? Right is not supported. If none of them equal, then we get that. Yeah, something like that. Wait, there's like a off by 1 error. Let me look. So if the index is smaller, yeah, I'll have to run it on the code. Wait, I'm not updating the result no more. That's the thing. That's why. I deleted that. If it's smaller, then I'll say. Shoot, I delete that. Result equals. I deleted that. Yeah, result equals then a result index plus 1. It's kind of redundant a bit, but something like that. So now I'm now updating the result. Okay, I'll probably need to dry run it again in order to get the right result. But we're given 1, 1, 2, 1. The expected result here is it's returning 1. But the expected result is actually supposed to be just the 2. So what's my left and right? 2 and 3. What are we running this on? 2 and 3.
The 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Yeah.
So we're saying this, and then we'll like cut off 3. So kind of left plus 1. Oh, might be like this. Because we know the pointer of left, so we have to increment 1 because we want to chop that off. And we know the pointer of right, but we want to include that, so we have to plus 1 as well.
Okay. Yep. And can you explain to me why on line 93 you're setting left to 0?
Or this would be -1, because this is kind of like the end of the array. So this current sum
okay.
is catching like if the current sum is equal to k. So we need to be able to see that, yeah, we want to like get the full array here and not chop off any prefixes.
All right. Okay. That's really the first thing I wanted to ask you. Don't worry.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
done now. All right. Honestly, well done, James. But it was one thing. We are at time, so this
Yeah.
is just more of a discussion. But how could we? You mentioned before that there's some redundancy here with this if is smaller and if is smaller. So how could we cut that off? You think? I think it'd help to think
Probably
about.
just like
Oh,
do and or sorry. Think about what?
I think it'd be good to think about what I mentioned earlier about having like a default. You
Yeah.
know, like how I said before, you could have a default for prefix sum 0. You already have one of it. That's if you ignore everything in the array. So like, do you think there could be any like default we could have here that would account for if the current sum is equal to k?
Yeah, it would be probably, we know there's a 0 at like -1. -1 or at 0. Because we're trying to keep track of the index. Yeah, it'd be 0 at -1. That would be the default.
Okay. So then what do we need to remove in our code then? Since we have this default now, what is no longer needed?
We could probably just delete this and then let everything go.
Okay, so could you run me through how this new logic would be then? Like
This,
for that case there where we would be trying to access
yeah,
difference of 0. Mhm,
because current sum is if it's equal to 3.
mhm.
Suppose like current sum is equal to 3 in that one case with all the negative ones. So current sum. So this is the total of like that we've been counting equal to 3. When we go 3 minus 3, that equals 0. We know that there's a 0, but it's at -1, which is kind of like at the end of the, like, not even really in the array.
Mhm.
So the distance between me and the -1 is pretty much the current length of the array.
Okay.
Because if it
All right.
was to like be 0 or anything, that would be saying, oh, we saw the prefix at index 0, but that's not true.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. All good. Um, Thank you so much for coming to this interview.
So thank you.
Uh,
Any feedback?
Feedback. Yeah, I actually was filling out a document
Nice.
as I went through this, so I think I'll go into it
Yeah.
now. I'm just gonna bring it into, but I forgot you're recording, so
Does it, or do
uh,
you want me to?
I
I
can
can stop.
share. I'll just share it with you.
Yeah. Like if you want it to be part of the video, it's
Yeah, I do want to see what it is,
yeah,
so I'll
okay.
just share it to you. Okay, on LinkedIn, I'll send you a message.
Yeah, and then if you want to catch up on anything outside of the stream or videos, hit me up. Should I have to download Notion? Could you make it a public link?
Is it not public
Oh
for
wait,
you?
let me check. Let me check. Oh, you just need to approve it. I just requested.
No problem. Um, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it won't let me. Do you just want to like copy and paste it into this coder path, maybe?
I approved it now,
Oh, but
so you
it's like
should be
trying
able
to make
to.
me download some plan.
Oh, what?
Like I need Notion.
Let me
Oh,
give
there
you
I
this
got it.
link.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I
Sure.
got it.
Let me check your stream just to make sure.
Nice. You got a rubric.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff here. All right, so let me just. I haven't calculated your score yet, but um, yeah. So your problem or deciding clarification said you frame your if you frame the problem clearly and anticipated pitfalls and prompted. Because when I gave you the problem, you repeated it back to me, and you asked a couple of you asked for clarifications before going in. So like it was like you clearly understood the problem. It was obviously that you understood the problem before you went in,
Mhm.
you know?
Nice.
And then in terms of approaching algorithmic choice, you explained the brute force first and you told me the complexity of that. And then you went into how the optimized one works and you explained that clearly. So you went clearly from brute force to optimized solution. So that's why I then gave a 5 there. Now coding quality, I think I might keep this at 4 just because um you had some redundancy in your code, and as well as the fact that there was just some pieces in your code that like I guess some people might not dock it, but Pythonically could have been shorter and easier, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yep. Makes
Like there
sense.
was times where you'd set sorry, there times where you see when you had to prefix some you set like a default value by doing an if statement, if thing
Mhm.
in, then you set the default value, and then you'd add it instead of
Mhm.
using, for instance, dictionary dot get
Mhm.
like value, and then you can set the default directly in
Mhm.
there. Do you know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that makes sense.
like that kind of thing. So that's why I gave you a 4 on that. But other than that, your variable names were very clear. Like if somebody else was to read your code, they'd be it wouldn't be too hard for them to understand what you're doing. You know.
Mhm.
Now, correctness in edge cases, you handle all edge cases. You handled edge cases before you even started coding, which is what I really liked. And as well as when you're going through, you also dry ran it before running it directly. So that also was testing cases out as well. Um, so really, you're really testing out your correctness before you actually ran it, and looking back over your code, going back over cases, and you're like the way you drew out the whole map and all the variables going through, and then ran through an example. I like that as well. It really it explains your algorithm. It just shows you're explaining your algorithm very well. You understand your algorithm very well, and uh, yeah, and you're checking for bugs. You're kind of like paying attention to detail. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah.
So that's why I then give you a 5 there. In terms of time and space, you asked, sorry, you explained, you told me it's O of n time and O of n space, and you also explained why. So that's why I then gave here. In terms of trade-offs, I asked you the previous obviously I was asking you follow-ups, and I asked you
Mhm.
how the previous ones, if the time complexity changes between the previous and the current, and you explained to me how it doesn't. So like how, yeah, that's why I then gave you that. Some could say you could get a 4 here, but I believe your explanations were very, very clear with your time complexity. So it was clear that you actually had an understanding of how time and space works, and efficiency of your code. So that's why I then gave you this 5 here. Now,
Nice.
time and space, I didn't even put in the, obviously it was of, and can you see me changing it here?
Yeah, I could see it. Or just follow up, like what would be, or what could have been improved there for time? Because you mentioned it could have been a 4 as well.
Hmm?
Did I sort of, or for time and space, like what would just make it a strong 5?
Okay, what would it make a strong 5?
Or because you mentioned that it might have been a 4, the time and
Oh, okay.
space.
I would have said 5 if you told me the time and space explicitly before I had to ask you.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's what I would say. Like you said the time complexity of the brute force solution,
Yeah.
but for the optimal solution, I had to know, like I had to ask you directly to ask it to say. So if it was said before, then yeah, it shows that like you were constantly thinking of time and space complexity as you go along, you know?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. For sure. So I think your total score, let me just calculate this up right now. 555
Cold
4
beast
5
mode,
5.
cold beast
It's like
mode,
29.
cold.
Like 29 out of
Can you
30.
hear the stream or no?
No, I can't hear the
Okay.
stream. What's going on? Okay, so
Okay. Let's get
guess that
it.
strong hire. Strong hire
OD.
there.
This feels better than passing a Fang interview.
Well done, man. Well done. Well done. I was testing you there with a bunch of follow-ups, and I'm glad you were able to handle it under pressure.
Let's go.
That's it.
Nice. I can go for staff at your company, bro. Just let me know when you're hiring.
I got you, man. I will. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Let us know down below if you'd want to see James back for maybe a system design interview or any sort
Yes,
or
sir.
anything of that sort. So yeah, that's it down below, and make sure to check out his channel. He'll be a collaborator in this YouTube video as well. So yeah, perfect. All right, peace out, y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Cool, 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 cool. That's the video.
Nice. That was fun. That's
Then.
good. Yeah, let me know if you have questions off the stream. We could discuss and stuff. But
Okay, cool. What's the stream saying though? What was your chat saying?
I had no idea. I was zoned in.
You see, you were locked in.
That was crazy.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Just chilling. I don't know. Chat. Dub.
Are you thinking that
I
was
was in the
good
chat. I
or?
was in the chat. Chilling.
Oh jeez. All right. Just obviously send me on
Everyone, yeah, go
the.
follow. Go. I already have the link to your channel, but let's see. Let's get it back.
You do?
Somewhere there.
All right.
But
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
appreciate
okay.
you. Let me know if you have anything off the stream you want to talk about. But yeah, definitely more collabs to come. Keep doing your thing, cause your channel is great, and you're just covering a lot of stuff.
I definitely will, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
man.
think the channel's great and everything. But I did have some questions. Do you have time for me to ask you
Yeah,
questions
I have
about
it.
Meta?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was gonna ask like about like what is it actually like working on Meta? I like because I rarely in Ireland I rarely see people working on Meta.
Yeah.
So
But
so
they
like
have
what?
offices there. They have offices
Yeah, they
there.
do, but they hire such little amount.
Yeah.
Like really such a little amount. So like what is it actually like working there? Like is it somewhere that you see yourself working there long term, or is it like a lot of pressure with workload?
There's there's a lot of pressure with workload. I would say the main thing, the difference is because I've worked at like early stage startup to like what is HubSpot right now? Like how much?
What's-
Like
Um,
like how big and what
I'm
what like how
I'm not.
much money raised?
Wait, but how big HubSpot is? I've no idea.
It's like a
I just
startup or
started to know.
it's like public.
No, I'm pretty sure it's no longer a startup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
we have over 300,000 customers, so like
wow,
I don't know.
that's massive.
So I think we're pretty big now.
Yeah, I would say working at Meta,
Hmm.
it's been great. Just the main reason I even wanted to join Meta, I didn't really consider them when I first started because when I was starting my career, I just wanted to work at early stage companies because my main goal was to eventually found something. So I always wanted to work at a early stage company like
Hmm.
Series A, Series B. And honestly, that was pretty much that was some of my best experiences working at that very early stage because you see a lot of things that you would never get to see at Meta. So things related to like how you build an experiments framework from the ground up, a lot of things related to the setup and the cloud instances and all that stuff. A lot of that is
Yeah.
abstracted for you at Meta,
Hmm.
even at like later stage companies and unicorns. But at Meta, the interesting stuff you'll see is just like all the innovations with like LLMs and the infrastructure is just so advanced. So you get ideas of where your infrastructure could be if you just keep working. Like if you had your own startup, and for sure you don't want to get your infrastructure to look like that right away, but over time you want to build towards it because it's just so good. So it's
Hmm.
interesting, and then just lots of smart people working on like advanced stuff. So they'll have a lot of different tech talks about like AI agents and like how they're doing X and Y, and I just hop into those and learn a lot. The company is huge, so there's engineers working on lots of different things. Versus when I was at a smaller company, there's less people, so like you can kind of keep track of what everyone's working on, and then
Hmm.
at some point, like you're not seeing as much different things as you would at a larger company. It's like going to a really good school. Like you'll just come
Okay.
across people working on some crazy stuff, and you might not understand it, but at least like you know what you don't know at that point, and that's a pretty important thing as well. Like understanding what you know and what you don't know.
Okay. Interesting. That's actually that's actually very
Yeah,
interesting. But okay, it's clear you really enjoy working on Meta.
I,
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed working at all the companies I worked at, except the one I can't really I don't want to name them because I worked at if you look at my resume I was working at like a unicorn company and they're just ruthless company. Kind of just crazy workload and code
Hmm.
was is yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it. Um, but I was gonna ask if you'd be down for like a video of me like kind of like interviewing you on life, your experience at Meta, and like how like and the advice you give to people that want to get into Meta in a
Yeah,
sense.
for
Would
sure,
you
for
be down
sure.
for that?
Yeah, I'm down. We could do one.
Love to get that set up as well. But yeah, me, I'm starting off HubSpot in the next 3 months in April when I finish school.
Yeah.
Gonna be doing that up until September.
What courses are you taking? Like how are you finding school for you? Do you like
Uh,
the degree so far?
at the moment, like I really do, I find it enjoyable. But it's very classes are very easy for me because I've studied ahead a lot of things.
Nice.
Like going through software engineering, like I'm actually on the job, so like I have to do all these things, knowing about the operating system, like shell, like there's different things like that, Linux and stuff like that. Like I had to like understand these commands and stuff,
Yeah.
and like obviously like dev things like DevOps, full stack development, all that stuff I learned on the job. So as well as doing courses myself. So like going into college now, it's just like I'm learning stuff that I already know.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good.
that's
Is there
pretty
any
much it.
classes that you would take where you would struggle at, you think? That you don't know?
I definitely. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I don't know
Yeah.
everything, but like I'd say what I know the least is like, hmm, that's actually a hard one because I've studied so many things around the whole computer science thing.
Yeah.
So like,
Because the only reason I'm asking that is like I would take those courses then. Because if you already know some of them, like take like distributed
Mhm.
algorithms and some of like the harder ones because you're ready for it. And those are what's gonna really teach you something too because you didn't take it.
Like I think like I've definitely reached the point where I'm like, okay, what do I actually learn next?
Yeah.
like, because like I've done stuff around distributed systems, software engineering, full stack development, machine learning, but I haven't gone too deep into the machine learning. So I think it would be the machine learning then.
Yeah. Why do you
Machine
get into
learning.
comp sci or computer science or software? And it's like
Wait,
what like appealed you? What drew your
yeah,
appeal?
I'd say like it was my dad, like because my dad has been a software engineer like
Oh,
from the beginning
nice.
of his life, and then he became a director and stuff. So he was always like talking about tech to me,
Yeah.
and he was always trying to like get me into tech.
Nice.
So then I ended up like taking a course, like a small course on like HTML, and then like I actually like the fact that I can write code that will then make something appear on the website. That just
Yeah.
was so fascinating to me for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I was like and then I was like, "Okay, I definitely wanna understand how this works and see how I can do other things around the computer." And that's why I then got into this, and I also have a very big love for maths and algorithms.
Nice.
So, it just made it very fun for me.
What's your future ambitions? Like does this kind of build up to what you want to do in the future?
I think it definitely does, like, I'd wanna be, like, at a director level of IT, like, director of IT at a company, and, like, obviously, away from that, I'd wanna have my own startup. I feel like everybody wants to have their own startup, but, like, yeah. I feel like my future does lie in the IT, like being a director at a company. I wouldn't say CTO. That's pretty high. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like to be a CEO of somebody else's company that I didn't make.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Yeah. Honestly, you just start your second year, you're ahead of probably 99%, but
Yeah.
people are grinding, so you just gotta also just keep that lead, just keep grinding and building stuff, and you're already doing that, so I'm sure
Exactly.
like
I
you'll
will
be
indeed.
crazy.
But would you be able to, while you're sending me the drive with while you're sending me the video, could you send me like a picture of you so that I can put it in my thumbnail?
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I'll just message you. All right, appreciate you, man. I'll send you. Do you want? I can send that right after. I'm about to interview some other guy because some other guy's trying to get a job
Oh,
at
okay.
Citadel. He has a interview coming up.
Oh,
Gonna
okay.
test him some.
Do you always do mock interviews for people?
I used to, but not really no more. I'm just grinding code forces these days on stream, but I've done mock interviews in the past.
Okay, fair enough. But, yeah, just yeah, send it on to me as soon as you can so I
Oh
can
wait,
schedule it.
chat's asking one thing quick. He's like,
Yeah.
ask P codes. What are your initial days of his preparation? What does that mean?
Like my initial days of preparation, like what I did in my initial days of preparation for
Yeah,
getting into bed. Okay, the first thing I did was I found because in my school we started off learning Python, so my dad told me to do a course on Python so I could stay ahead of the class, and so I wouldn't be so confused in class because I was very confused at the beginning. But yeah,
yeah,
so I did a course, the 100 Days of Python course by Angela Yu. I done that course. That course taught me a lot of things about Python, doing even server-side rendering of applications with Python, APIs with Python. So I done that course, and then in terms of preparing for interviews, halfway through that course, I started to learn. So like basically, when I finished learning about Python fundamentals, I started to learn about data structuring algorithms. I done another course on that as well. These are both on the course website Udemy, which is where I do all of my courses, and I'm also an affiliate for them. So I have a link that
nice.
that I can get
Hit that link.
percentage from. Yeah, so I started doing course on that data structuring algorithms, and when I finished the data structuring algorithms course, I had a good enough foundation on that for me to start doing leak code. Then I ran through the Neat Code 75 because Neat Code has YouTube explanations for each question in the roadmap. And I feel like it was very good, like because they started off with like easy
He
to
needs some
hard. It was
milk.
a really good roadmap for like beginners. So it was that kind of thing. So I finished off the instruction algorithms course, started doing Leak code every day, and then that's what prepared me the most for my interviews.
Nice.
Mm.
S- How many questions have you done in total?
Um, I forgot to stream can't see my screen, but I was gonna show it because I actually
I
love
can
showing
show
this.
it. Just send it on the chat, and I'll just load it up.
Oh wait, you can just view my profile, can't you?
Yeah, I could just view your profile. Do you do contests or anything?
I don't actually. That's I was thinking of looking into that soon. But like I don't actually have like a lot of time
Yeah.
because I'm in college still. But yeah.
Once you do enough,
Oh.
I think this will give you the most bang for your buck, like the contest. Once you,
Mm,
I just
you see
started
it?
too though. Like don't jump into it right away.
Okay.
Like I've been lead coding for 6 years, so on and off. Nice. 366. That's a solid amount. Like after that, you're 23 hards. There's a lot of people even break into Fang that haven't can't even really do hards. They just studied the tag questions, so you're already set. Especially just
Yeah.
second year. Touched my
Mm-hmm.
first lead code when I was like in my senior year, so keep it up.
Like I've been doing LeetCode like almost daily
Yeah,
since last year September.
nice, really
So
solid.
built a 366 within the last past year. So yeah.
Awesome.
Um, I'm seeing the chat now. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna read it out myself. And how started with LeetCode style questions. How long did it take for him to get good at LeetCode? I feel like after I knew the course, like I had that foundation. So it's like
you're talking
it
about the
was
lead
more
code
like
course, right? Or you're
y-
talking about
the
school
the
course?
Udemy course, the
Oh,
Udemy
okay.
course I did on data structure and algorithms.
Yeah,
And these can all be found on my LinkedIn if you want to provide the LinkedIn in the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'll send.
Patrick, you have my LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, you can see all the courses there. But like after I finished that course, I had the foundation, but so like going through leak code, it was hard. Like my first 20 questions were hard.
mm,
It was kind of like I really didn't like some of them, like, yeah, I know the tuition a bit, but like optimizing, I didn't really know how to. But like watching the YouTube videos over and over again, after like 20 videos, I started to get used to it, kind of thing. And it's like if I didn't get a question in 20 minutes, if I had no idea after 20 minutes, I'd watch the YouTube video and then code it out myself, recognize how to see this pattern next time, kind of thing. And then after about like 20 to 40 questions, it started to become more natural to me. Like I do about 60% of the questions I do, I'd be able to solve it myself. And then
nice,
that started to increase as I went along the way.
nice. So now you barely look at the solution. You just kind of.
Yeah, I kind of just fly.
That's me too. I don't really like looking at solutions sometimes because it's more confusing to me sometimes because I'm
Hmm.
used to it a specific way. So if I read the solution, like I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
solution could just be thinking a complete different way.
What else? Someone say how many months it took you to get good?
How many months? Okay, so the course took me about a month and a half, 2 months to do. Then the actual leak code 2 months. So about 4 months to get good at leak code,
Nice.
let's say.
That's interesting though that you took a course on it because it's just hard for some people to grind out a full course. So like you
Mm,
actually have the
like
ability to sit down and just get through a course because that's actually not that common as well. Even for me, sometimes doing a course, sometimes it's hard for me to get through it. You got any advice for that? Like getting through a course?
it's kind of like like with me, it's like I know what I want to achieve, and I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to be good at data structures and algorithms, and I can't just jump straight into doing the problems when I don't actually have a foundation.
Yep.
Without having a foundation, I'm just gonna be so confused. So it's like
Mm.
now getting courses. I like courses so much because it's structured and it's visual. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like I can see visual representations of the data structures and the algorithms that are working that they're trying to explain to me.
Yep.
And because I know me myself, I'm best at learning through visuals.
Mm.
That's why I do these courses all the time. Now, someone that wants to get good at something, know what I'm saying? Like you got to do what you got to do to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. And courses, like courses. There's short courses. There's long courses. I'd recommend do shorter courses. I don't do really long courses. Like I'll do courses that will teach me enough for me to start getting my hands dirty on the actual thing. You know what I'm
I
saying?
see. Yeah.
So it's like know what you want. Like it's just kind of like know what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it. And courses are a really good standpoint of getting a foundation.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like somebody that's been skilled in that field for a while, explaining to you how these concepts work.
Yeah. That makes
That's why I
sense.
say people.
Do
Mhm.
you read any books or mostly just courses?
I hate books, honestly. That's the thing about me. I like I said, I like visuals.
Yeah.
I like seeing them move the linked list head,
Yeah.
moving it from the front to the left, and then
Yeah.
explaining how push and pop works. I love all that. So that's why I don't read books. I'm a
I
visual
see.
learner.
That makes
Mhm.
sense. What about side projects and stuff? You try to mix that. Like, what's your day look like when it comes to just grinding? You do school, you do your side projects, you do lead code. Like, how do you structure that?
Yeah, so usually like a day for me, I do my school. In between school, I'd be looking at like I'd be looking at some courses or I'd be going through LinkedIn, just like seeing like just like looking at the newest tech news,
Yeah,
watching some videos on tech and shit. And then later on in the day, I'd get into at least one leak code question.
nice.
And then after that, side projects. It usually for me, after I complete a course, I always do a project on that, on what I learned,
Yeah,
so that I can show so that recruiters can clearly see that I actually do know this topic, you know?
it's crazy. How long do you work a day? What do you do? Do you take breaks, man?
I I do I surprisingly, I actually do take breaks, but I study about 4 to 5 hours a day,
Okay.
I'd say.
So your day, like how often do you work in a day? When it comes to everything, is it like a 8 to 12 hour day, and then maybe like you go hoop or like go work out? 'Cause I know you play ball.
Like, are you talking about, like, oh, like, in total of
Like in
school,
total,
like,
like
all computer
yeah,
stuff? Okay.
cause like for me, I work my 8 hours, then I do like I go to a gym, I do like code forces, so I'll probably work, I would say 14 to 15. If I include my workout, probably like 12, 13, 14 hours in a day with only like 2 hours downtime. I don't know about yourself. Like it sounds like yours is even busier than that.
No, I'd say about because I don't actually go to every lecture in my school. So like
Nice.
sometimes I won't go to lecture and I'd be looking at notes or I'd be looking at like some leak code. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
see.
like I would still be within that 10 to 12 hour bracket is work.
Hmm.
The rest of it is just me chilling, like honestly, just at
Yeah.
home or I'm outside type of thing. Like I play basketball as well. So yeah, you play
Yeah.
basketball as well.
I did back in high school, but only a little bit out here. But yeah.
Basketball's really fun, but it gets so competitive.
Yeah, every last few times I went, kids are trying to fight. It's pretty funny. I
That's
never
what I'm
get
saying.
into
I
it,
actually
but
is about.
people get
Mm-hmm.
angry over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
What are you
But
ever in the US? You ever visit the US or not too much?
I've been to hmm, I've been over to Buffalo, New York before,
I see.
and Kansas, not Kansas City, not Kansas State, Kansas City. I've been there, but like this was like 6 years ago. So like I was just at home. I didn't even go anywhere to be honest. So I don't remember a thing about it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
All right,
But
man.
yeah,
Thanks for hopping on. Definitely let's just connect and more
100%.
collabs and talk about some other stuff. Yeah, that was fun.
Definitely, it was fun as well. But yeah, we'll be in touch. Just send on that video as soon as you can and the
Sure.
picture of your face as well, so
Yeah,
I can schedule the upload for tomorrow.
I got you.
All right,
All right. See you, man.
see you, man.
Peace. Legend. Chat, how'd I do?
This is not my main thing, really, I'm a coder.
W's in the chat. Holy. He was pushing me to my limits, though. That was at least like 4 or 5 leak code questions in the span of the 45. Like if you include the follow-ups. Because each of the follow-ups were kind of different than the other, but I guess they kind of worked all together. But he almost asked me, I don't know if there's any more possibilities for that question, but that was pretty crazy. He was able to just come up with that many variations of that question. Yeah, that thing went crazy. Code Forces asked a lot of prefix sums, so I was ramped up on the prefix sums. I was studying Union Fine because I was scared he's gonna ask me some Union Fine. All right, next we got somebody from Citadel. Folder. Who's Python with Sean? Oh yeah, put up some comments on his and tell him that I would do an interview. Would he want to interview me or the reverse? I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little burnt out because I did the leak code contest yesterday. I did code forces this morning, and I did that. So, within like 24 hours, I probably did like 10, 10 questions. Cause I saw four, I saw four on the leak code contest yesterday. Yo, Sean, what's up? Yeah, Sean, follow me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'll go to your channel for sure. I'll follow you up right now. Nice, your editing looks sick. Sean, what's up, man? This is sick. Put the subo. Oh, this is sick. You're doing leak code every day too. Nice. Yeah, Sean, hit me up. We can do the same type of thing. What we're we gonna do? Wait, I just have to send this one video to Patrick. Okay. I'm gonna put in a drive. Yeah, we're just gonna set somebody up for. Yo, where's Ramen at? Cause we need to get Ramen ready for Citadel. Yo, email me, email me. Oh, check your Discord. Got you. Yeah, you could just you don't have to put your name at all, man. It's fully anonymous, bro. It's not. Uh, we're gonna Piyush. We're gonna do an interview with him. He wants to do an interview. We'll clear all accusations. We'll put we'll put him on a coding interview. He wants to clear his name. How was the interview? I think I got 29 out of 30. I'm feeling nice right now. We went.
Code, beast mode, leak code, beast mode, leak code, beast mode, leak code.
That's what we did. Hold up. Let me set up the Google. Damn, it's a shame if they move away from coding interviews. Yeah, I do code forces. There's been all this work for nothing. So I'm just kidding. If somebody made me do an AI interview, I'm patching that too. Never had to do it, but what's up, man?
Yo,
Let's get you right.
hold on 1 second. Wait, can you talk?
Yo.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, okay. What's up? What's up? Are you ready? You've been studying this week?
Yeah, kind of. Not too much, low key.
Bruh, no way. If I had that job, I wouldn't even be sleeping. If I had the interview. What school you go to again? If you want to say. I don't know. You don't have to.
Yeah, just some school in Toronto.
Nice. Toronto.
Toronto.
That's where all the legends are at. Let me send you the link.
Okay.
All right. How are you rating my performance on the last one?
I only joined at the end. I just saw him give you a 29 out of 30, so that's pretty good.
Sir. Feeling nice. I don't really rank like that though, where I take that much notes like across all the dimensions. But I'm more like the way I interviewed, honestly, even before, if the person passed it, they're passing. Like I
Okay.
kind of just went by the vibes.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it doesn't fit into those categories. So
Yeah, I kind of just went by the
here we go.
vibes the way I did it. Okay. What? Yeah, you don't have to put your name in there, but you use C++?
Okay, let's. No, Python.
Okay. They let you do that for Citadel?
Yeah,
Okay, let me.
I mean, some force you, but like for the most part, you can just use Python.
All right. Okay, wait. I just need to send Patrick something.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, we're gonna ask you one of my favorite design questions.
Okay.
Right. Straight out the Peralta 75.
Okay, bet.
Have you done any Peralta 75 questions or no?
No, I have not. I saw it before. Like most of the questions there are pretty good.
Yeah. The best list out there. Let's see.
Definitely.
All right, let me load this up. Like the wait, let me clean this up. Just gotta turn the prompt into Markdown so it's easy.
All right, bet.
Chat audio is good.
Yeah, let me know if I'm like too quiet or too loud or something.
I think you're good. Are you on the stream at
Um,
all?
yeah, I just muted it so I don't.
Okay, okay.
I can't double hear.
So you can't see the hints too, because chat likes to say what's happening. All right,
Here, I'll close it out.
this is if you can get this, I'll be really impressed. I mean, you'll probably be able to get it, but we're gonna have to implement it within the time constraints. So, all right.
Okay.
So I'll just do a quick intro. Hey everyone, so today we have somebody interviewing for Citadel. So we just gotta get them right. Apparently they can use Python and it's gonna be more design specific. So we're gonna study or we're gonna ask them to design a very complicated data structure. This is actually LeetCode code hard, but that's the type of questions that you should expect if you're gonna try to get a job at a hedge fund. So we're not going easy. How you feeling today?
Feeling good.
Have you been prepping?
Yeah, I've been prepping like mostly tagged and yeah.
How do you feel at LeetCode code? Are you pretty confident? Is there some areas you're weak at?
I think I'm pretty confident. I mean, like, um, some hard, like, of course, they're gonna be pretty cooked, like, especially if it's some niche like structure or like niche algorithm. But for the most part, it should be good.
All right, let's just get straight into this. Where you're gonna have probably 45 minutes to code this thing up, and you've done one of these interviews before, I'm pretty sure, so you know the process.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait. So we're gonna be designing the Excel sum formula, and yeah, essentially there's gonna be multiple methods. First, we're gonna initialize the Excel sheet, which is gonna have some height and width,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna be able to set some cells in the Excel sheet, then we should be able to just get the value in that Excel sheet. Line 36, we have a sum function, which you can choose any like list of cells that, and it will sum up those cells, and it's kind of like a
Oh.
derived cell, right?
Mhm.
So if you change a number in one of the cells that it's derived from, because it's a computed cell, that cell should also change. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Excel. Like you can be like, give me this column and derive like some a whole column and then put the
Okay.
value in a cell. That's kind of what's happening here. And I'll let you clarify the question as well.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the explanation. I'm just gonna reread it just to make sure I understand it. I'll just take notes at the bottom. So here's your comment. Okay, so just to get started, so basically, the main point of this is to design the basic functionality of Excel, right? So we have rows and columns, and then as well as the sum formula, right? So getting the sum, and then getting the sum for like probably a row. Is it only just one column? Because here int row is just one number, so they just get the sum of a whole column. Is that all?
Well, sum gives you sets to the sum
I can
of,
probably just read it and find out, right?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So uh here we have the constructor. We'll take a int height and a char width. Okay. So then here for this case, would the width be any bigger than just 26 since, or like, I guess if you want to go like kind of weird, we can do like what 255
Let's just
with
say
the
that's a good
pardon?
clarification. That's a good clarification. Let's just say 26.
Okay, so then here just write in the notes width can max be 26. And here when I say 26, I mean like just all the letters in the alphabet, right? So A to
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So here we're gonna initialize width and height. The sheet is an integer matrix of size, height times weight. Row indices are in the range. Okay, so here, one thing we have to take a look at is that it's one index, right? So that's one thing we should take note of.
Mm-hmm.
And then here the column is just A to Z, so this 26. And all value initialized is 0, right? So this is pretty important.
Yeah. So it's like
So
just an
first,
empty Excel sheet.
yep, got it. And then so first we have this set method, right? So we're again taking in a row, a column, and a value, right? So this will just be basically set this row and column to this value. That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Get all as well is going to be not that bad. And then I'm guessing the main like kind of complexity here goes into the sum. So just to read over the sum and reiterate, so it takes in a row and a column, right? And then this string of numbers. So let's see what this numbers is. Sets to the sum of, okay, sets to the sum of the cells represented by numbers.
Yeah.
So could you kind of clarify what this number? Okay, wait, I think it might be here. Okay.
Let's just say, I'm gonna modify a bit. Let's just say numbers could look something like this.
Okay, perfect.
A1, B2, C3. So if I say in A, I want A5, if I pass in like row A and column 5, and I pass in like that list, I'll basically
Okay.
say A5 should always compute the values of these cells here.
Okay, I see, I see.
Yeah.
So and this should be dynamic as well. So whenever anything changes in these uh things, then we should also change the cells as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if
Okay,
A1
perfect.
gets incremented by 200, A5 should always have the freshest value, at least when they try to access it.
Okay, okay. So I think like for the most part, and then the way we're given it is just, yeah. So the first will be the column, the A, and then next will be the row. Okay. This, okay, let's see. And then example represents all cells. So are we gonna get these cell ranges as well?
I didn't update it, so we're just gonna be given tabular range. Okay, this is talking about what numbers is gonna be.
Okay.
I just changed it up so that numbers is just gonna be like a list of the cells. So we just specify the list. So that makes it a little easier because we don't have to just parse the. Because usually in Excel you'd say A1 to A5, and then you just have to enumerate in between those. But I don't really care about that. So let's just say with the numbers, they're gonna tell you the exact cells that's going to be that it needs to compute.
Okay, perfect. I mean, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna spend the most time on the sum. So my kind of idea here is that um so there's two ways we can first of all represent this. So I guess like the default way would be just okay, we get the height width and we just create an array of all zeros with that, right? But then I think a little bit of a smarter method might be to just have um like a variable here. So like a0, right? And then this would be the like default val, right? For a equals 0. This is the default val, as we said, right? Default, right? And
Mhm.
then what we can do is um instead of storing it in a grid, we can store it in a hash map, right? So then uh it'll just be a mapping of like this, basically row, col, and then maps to a value, right?
Mhm.
And then if this row col doesn't exist, right? Then we can for a get, we can just always return this default value a or like default. Yeah. Does
Okay.
that part make sense?
Yeah. And you mentioned
Uh,
like this would be smarter. Like why would that be smarter?
So in this case, we don't have to store the entire grid, right? In the worst case, we do, or like the entire sheet. In the worst case, we do, but um, if not every single row is accessed or updated, then we can save space by not doing that, right? So
Mhm.
I guess this case, worst case is equal to that, but on average, it'll be a little bit better for space.
Okay. All right, makes sense. So
Yeah,
we're
and
gonna be
then
storing the Excel. So what's your decision? Are we gonna use an array or hash map for maintaining the state of the array?
so I think in this case, a hash map would be better for space. So we'll go ahead and use that.
Okay.
And then, so this is kind of done with the set and the get, right? So now going on to the sum, uh, I guess just straight brute force for the sum is, um, let's see. So taking this row column, right? And then there's this specific formula we have to do, right? Until the cell is overran by another. So in this case, right? If this cell is so if cell is overwritten, then we remove this formula, right? It no longer exists.
Yeah.
Formula no longer exists. Okay, so that will be handled in the set. Yeah, that would be handled in the set. And then let's see. Okay, so then one other thing is that in the set, since um any changes we do would have to also do it to the, like this formula, right? The sum formula. In the set, we would also update some sort of state for that, right? So then we need some sort of like formula state. So this would be like uh mapping the I guess let me just think real quick. So yeah, basically just mapping this formula um to this cell, right? So we would need to do some sort of bounds check for that to be like, okay, would this fall into this like this range of like formulas that we added? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then let's see what other pieces we would need. And then okay, so and then one other thing is, for example, um, what would happen if this same row and same column, right?
Mhm.
What if we add, for example, multiple formulas to it, right? So this sum of like we just add more. So would that override or would it append? Would it like what's the kind of idea over there?
It would override. So that's what's
Okay.
pretty much what the second part here is saying. Like if we set or call sum, it overwrites for you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until the cell is running by
Yeah.
another side or some.
So setting it
Okay.
will kind of like remove the formula, but if we call it again with a sum, then it just sets the new formula.
Okay. Um, do you think that this idea is fully fleshed out, or do you want to just keep designing a little bit more before we get to implementing, or like is it fine if we just kind of think about the design more as we get there?
So how are you thinking of implementing the sum again?
So for the sum, so here we're given this row in char, right? So we'll have some sort of state like this, row, col, and then um this will hold like all of these A, B, C, right? So I
Okay,
guess A, 1, B, 2, C, 3.
sure.
And then um so so this is how we're gonna kind of keep this be like, okay, this row and this column, it needs it's dependent on these things right here.
Sure.
And then same thing again. I think we would need some sort of reverse to say that, okay, if we alter A1, right? So A1, if we alter this, then the delta of whatever we did, right? So let's say it was a 1, we turn it into a let's say it was a 0, we turn it to a 1, right?
Yeah.
Then we need to add this 1 back to this row and column as well. Row col, and then same way. If it was 1, and then we need to minus 1 from this row and column. Does that part make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense. So
yeah.
is there any other edge cases that you need to think about?
Um, so what other would be some edge cases? Let's see. I guess like the removal in the set can be removed, I guess, and then yeah, for the most part, I think we're there. Do you have any like suggestions on anything we should fix or get rid of?
So every time we update B2, we're just gonna go into row column and update its value.
Um, so you said if we update B2, right?
Okay, yeah, because you said this is the
Yeah,
computed, and these are what it's computed on,
yeah,
say deps.
yeah.
So every
That's
time we
good.
update any of the dependencies, we're gonna like change the computed by delta.
Yeah, yeah, by the delta. So what it was, what it's gonna be now, and
Yeah,
then now that delta, like no, and that's over here, right? So if we change A1, right?
yeah,
And the delta is 1, then we go look at the map, see what formulas depend on A1, and then
yeah,
we just update those.
yeah. That makes sense, but I'm trying to think. I want you to think of more edge cases. There's another edge case that's super important for this question, and I don't want to give it up right away unless you can think of it.
Okay,
Just
let's
yeah.
so I guess let me just think real quick. So we update this row and this column, right?
Hmm.
If there's a change to A1. And
Yeah.
then now we need to check what is dependent on this row and this column as well, right? So this these parts, because this might also be a dependency of something. Is that right?
Hmm.
And then so now we have to do some sort of like BFS going and updating all of those things as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a
So
recursive case. So like if we update A1 here, what if it's like yeah, what if it's there could be a chain of sums, right? So
yeah,
one
so it
cell
could
can
be
have a sum and then that sum is created by another cell that has a sum.
yeah, so it could be like uh this row call is also dependent uh on A1. So then what do we do here? When A1 is changed, right? A1 equals 10, and then we set it to 0, right? So delta equals 0. Yeah, delta equals 10. Now we look at this map over here, right? So what row and what column does, I guess, what is A1 a dependency of, right? And then we also add the delta to all of these. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So you're saying, wait, could you say that again? I think you
y-
get the gist. Like we have to handle recursive case. So if
Yeah,
A1 depends
that's right.
on, or if we have A1 that depends on B2 that depends on C3. If we update C3 by 10, it's gonna update B2 by 10. Then you're gonna update A1
Yeah,
by
that's
10.
it.
Yeah, that's what.
Just by that
Yeah.
delta. That's it.
Okay. So I guess you kind of have all the cases. I would just go ahead and start implementing it because we have about like 25 minutes left for coding.
Okay, sure. So here we're gonna call this what was this called? Excel sum formula. Excel sheet. Okay, that's fine. So in the constructor here, so we take in self, height, width. I think that was it. Let's see. Okay, so then here height is a int, and then width is a string, right? So we can do I guess self dot height equals height, self dot width equals width. Hold on. There we go. Right. So now the thing I mentioned over here with this, basically the whole thing being a hash map. So self dot sheet is equal to default dictionary, and then what does this take in? This takes in list, right? So and then if you want to be like more specific, it's going to be row to col, I guess. Wait, let me just think this out. Yeah, so row to col. And then what did we say here over here? So we have these sorts of formula states, right? So one was row to col, and then row col, and then the dependencies here, right? So self dot what do we call this? Like formula, and then this is going to be a map as well, right? So oh wait, yeah, I did this right, I guess. Wait, I did capitals here. There we go. So let's change this up real quick. Okay, formulas is also going to be a default dictionary, right? So, and then yeah, this is going to also be to a list of strings, okay? And then we need this backwards thing as well, right? So then it's like row col or like dependency to row col, right? So then this is basically the same thing. It's going to be self dot dependency equals default dictionary, and this is going to take in a list of rows, like there's gonna be a list of tuples of rows and columns. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I think for the most part, we have most of the state we need here. Just clean that up, right? So now we need to set up these two functions here. One is set, one is get. All right, so then def set, right? And then what does this take in? This takes in self. Okay. Takes in row, column, and value, right? So row, col, value. And then since this col is is a string, we need to get it like as an integer, right? So is this all going to be capitals, like capital A, capital B, or is it going to be lowercase letters?
Let's assume that it's well formatted. So
Yeah.
let's just
So
say
no,
capital
I'm
A, yeah.
talking. Okay, capitals. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
let's.
sense.
We don't want to handle the case that you have to uppercase it.
Okay, so I think first things first. Here we convert, right? So, converted equals ord col, right? So this is going to be the col, and then minus ord capital A, and then since there's one, no, this part's actually fine.
Why do you have to do that for column?
For column because so column is a string, right?
Yeah.
And so how chars work is that like for example, like A to Z, right? They're gonna be sequential in the like ASCII values, right? So I think A is 97 or something. So B would be 98. And then it's
Or
the same for capitals.
like, how are we assuming set is going to be called? Is it like set A 1 to 5? Or
Uh
like,
so no, it's gonna be like 1 and then here A.
okay. Okay.
That's like
Yeah,
okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, so here we got this part. Now the row is fine and then the value, right? So I like right now we're not gonna go ahead and finish up this whole thing, but then when we get to sum and stuff, we can like continue on.
Sure.
So um so we have this sheet over here, right? We need to update this. So we self.sheet, right? And then as I said, a tuple, and it's gonna be row. Oh wait, I think here I need to do this. It's gonna be row col to value. Yeah, I had caps lock on for some reason. Yeah, so row col to value, and then this is gonna be row col, right? These are two integers, and then this is gonna be equal to this is gonna be int over here, and then that's gonna be equal to value, right? I think I accidentally like pressed on keybind to run the thing.
It's all good.
Okay, so we have this, right? Oh, I think I need to do not row col. We need to do converted. There we converted. Okay, and then next we need to return get, right? So get should be pretty simple. Set okay, get. I think the problem is that since set is a data structure, this thing's kind of cooking it. Like the highlighting you see.
Yeah. SETI.
Should
No,
I
I'm just kidding.
SETI?
Just put it with it. You just
SETI
come up with a
Getty?
random name.
Okay, yeah. I guess we could do like set
I don't know about that
or
anymore.
like set value.
No, set is fine. I think set is fine here. You're
Okay,
good.
sure. So
Sometimes it
then,
complains, but it's not really nothing.
okay, that's chill then. So again, self row col, and then this returns the value if it exists, and then if it doesn't, and it returns nothing, right? So then we can do if this row col, and then so again we need to convert this col into like this thing, right? I mean we can just straight rip this off. There we go. Converted. In self.sheet. Then I guess we could do like save program saying not in, then we return 0, right? And then I guess here that's where the default value comes in, right? So self.default val val equals 0, and then I guess like just to make this pretty modular, I guess we can do default value is default value is passed in, and it by default it's 0, and then we can go here default value, there we go. So
what's the point of that?
so you know how up here it says that originally everything's gonna be 0, right?
Yeah.
So since we don't fully generate the whole like cell, we can like we don't generate the whole spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
So then the default value can change. Like or like when we can't index, like we can't do row column if it doesn't exist, because like the spreadsheet generates everything, but the current default dict value we have, it doesn't.
Hmm. Like
So
I'm wondering,
so
like you
what
already have a default dict here. Row to column equals the value.
yeah. So um yeah, so by default this will return a 0. I think, let me see. I think like you can pass in stuff. If you look in the docs, like by default, you can change the default here. I just don't know. I think you can just send in a lambda, like
Oh no,
lambda.
it's fine. But I was
Okay.
saying it already returns 0. You're passing in
Yeah,
default
but
equals 0.
okay. I like we could
Okay.
just to
It's
be
all good.
more modular, we can switch it up
Yeah.
type.
Okay. So like if
Okay.
we ever want the default value to be something else kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it, just more modular over here. Okay, so here we're gonna return self dot default value. Actually, I think you're probably gonna dock me on this. So here I'll do the other way, so we can just return uh self dot sheet dot get self dot get this row converted, and then comma self dot default value. There we go.
Okay.
So then for now this should be fine, but then like we definitely have to update set in the future, but for now, like we'll do that. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
So now getting into like the main thing here, which is returning sum, right? So def sum. What is this complaining about? Okay, so this will take in a self row col and then what was the third thing? Strings or numbers, right?
Yeah.
So numbers.
Or cells or something.
Yeah, okay, sure. Like we can do like cells, yeah. And then so the I think just to clean stuff up just real quick, we can do a def get whole equals or that and then so we can just, because we do convert it every single time, right? We can just like return, and then here it's going to be it just takes in a whole, right, which is a string, and then it returns this.
Okay, so you're just pulling that out.
Yeah, just like clean it up. What is going on? It should take in stuff. Okay.
I mean, it was one line before, now it's two. So it makes sense.
Yeah,
I
like
get it. Yeah.
okay. And then we can do the same thing again. And then this should be self dot. And then I like this okay, now let's just continue on with sum, right? So we need to set the, let's just see, set to the sum of all cells represented by that, right? So it just overrides the current value. Override row col to sum of cells, right? So I think first things first, again, we're gonna convert. There we go. So now we got the real col. Now what we do is two things, right? So first set it equal to sum, then add the states. So like these things over here. So first things first, let's get the sum of all these, right? So we have these, and it's gonna be like A1 and all that. Okay, so we're gonna have to do some parsing for the cells. So I guess we can do cells. I think I could do a pretty cool one-liner. Cells equals this I for I in cells, and then it's going to be two things, right? So it's going to be the letter, which is A, right? So we can just do from start to 1, right? So this is going to be the coal, and then we can do a tuple of this. So that's the coal, and then we can call this self.get coal at coal, right? So this will turn this into a, and then remove this. There we go. Right. So do you understand what I'm doing here? I'm just getting the coal first. Now for the row, I think row is just going to be
Or I
like,
in cells.
yeah, so it's gonna be, oh yeah, cells is this. So you can do from I to, or I at from one to the rest, like, is going to be that, this, and then we turn it into an int. Do you get this part?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, perfect. Wait, what did I do here? Okay, yeah. So this just parses cells into row col. And then now let's go ahead and just get the sum of this, right? So sum of cells equals like, would you like me to do one liners, or do you think like I should just do whole functions? Or like
Just make the code clean over one
okay.
liners. There's no point in doing one liners. It's
Okay.
not clean.
Okay. Here we start with 0, right? For I in cells, right? And we can do for row col in cells. Sum of cell plus equal self dot sheets dot get. What do we get here? We get the this row col, and then by default it returns self dot default value. Okay, so do we get the sum over here? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we do self dot sheets at this row. I guess we can like one sec. This might actually overwrite this row up here, so we can just change this to
Does it matter?
cell. I'm pretty sure that this might override the the global row state
I
here.
see. Okay.
And then there we go. And then we just do cell underscore row cell, or like, yeah, cell underscore column. Right. So this part, and then we can do row converted is going to be equal to sum of cells, right? So this is the first part done here, which is we just overwrote the sum, right?
Yeah.
So now the second part for us is update states, right? So we have this formula state, right? So that's going to be, what did I write up here? So okay, yeah, row to call. Yeah, so it's gonna be a row to call to all the things that are dependent on it, right? So we have the cells here which we can add. So for I in, for row col in cells, right? So right now, what is dependent on these? It is just this row and col right here, right? So you can do self dot formula at row oh wait, I need to do it. Row converted dot append, and then what we're gonna append is this tuple of row col, and then I think again I need to do this cell row thing. And then yeah, so that okay, so we have the one way done.
Sure.
And now we have now we have to do the second one, right? Which is going to be just the reverse. So D's mapping to this. So for we can just do that low key in this one right here. So self dot dependency at this cell underscore row, comma, cell underscore col dot append. And then what do we append? We append this row and converted. Okay, so we set the states. Now the next part in this is to update like the set functionality. Do you have any questions so far on anything?
Okay, just walk me through the sum one more time.
Okay,
Let's
sure.
just make sure it's working correctly. So get set
Okay.
makes sense. You're just setting a value. Getting is pretty easy. You're just grabbing the value from the default dict. Sum,
Sure.
just walk me through the sum real quick.
Sure. So first things first, we get this, which is just going to be an array of strings of like string and I guess a letter and then a number, right?
Yeah, like 1, A, then probably like yeah, like that.
Yeah. So what we do here first, we parse, like since these are strings, right?
Yeah.
A3, B4, we parse it. So first part is get call, okay, and it's this to that. Yeah, I think that's fine actually. So what we do is we turn this into a array like
That
this.
part makes sense. Let's look at the next part.
Row.
Sum of cells. What's happening there?
So some of cells here. So okay, wait. We initialize this to 0. Now we in all the like we got these rows and columns, right?
Yeah.
What we do is we just get the sum, right? So the sum is going to be the sum of cell row, cell column. So A1 for like, or like A2, or like here, which is like A3, B4, C3. We're going through all of that. And then we're getting the sum from the sheet, like the current value in the sheet. And then if that doesn't exist, then we return the default value. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Now we're just basically summing the parents.
Yep, that's it. Set or like update. Right. So now that we got the sum, we update that row and column to get be equal to that sum that we just got.
Okay.
Right. And then here now we set up the backward state that we were talking about. So the formula or like the current row and current column pointing to the like the A or like to the cells. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then now the backwards, which is that if we change any of these dependencies, right, then this should also change. So we need a mapping for that.
Wait, what's formula versus dependency?
So this is basically a two-way map, right? So this one is saying that the current, what we got over here, for example, which is 1A, right?
Yeah.
Here, let me write in comments. One, or like it's basically just 1, 1.
Yeah.
Or 1, 0. And then this thing is dependent on all of these over here, right? So which is A3.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
B4,
makes sense.
C3. So that's going to be formula, and then dependency is the complete opposite, right? So it's saying A3, which is going to be 3, 0. That is dependent on, or like when this changes, these things need to change, which is going to be the 1, 0, right? 1, 0 would need to change.
Like two adjacency lists here, like one for the formulas and then the reverse?
So I guess whenever there's a change on any of these, we have to do some sort of propagation, right? So either if this row and this column changes, like the value changes, then we have to delete all the states for like what is dependent on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if anything was dependent on this, then we have to remove that. And then same thing goes the other way. And I think now that we think about it, this would be, I think, smarter to store in like a set, right? So this way, like when we add, it's like going to be pretty good. And then we have to
Okay.
change these to dot add. Right. So the next step here for us is gonna be that sort of propagation, right?
Yeah.
And is everything making sense for now?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So first things first, um, when we're updating this row and this column, right? Any anything that was like that it was a dependency of needs to get updated, correct?
Anything that it was a dependency of. Yeah.
Yeah. So then to do that, we can first of all go ahead and check this map, which tells us like what's the dependencies of this um like if it has any, and then if it is what it is, and then we can go and update, right? So um one thing we have to also get here is the delta, right? So um the current value um minus what the past value was, right? So then do self dot sheet dot get this row converted self dot default value. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. We got this delta. We changed this value. Now we have to check. Let me check which one it was. Um.
So let's just focus on like the propagation logic because we have like 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Like
Propagation logic.
assume that like the delta is there. Can we start writing out how we're gonna propagate it?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just write like a helper function here. I think like just Pythonically you need to put these ones up here. What would you call it? Like propagate, right? So we get cur, or like I guess row col delta, right? So we're saying
Sure.
that we change this row and this col to some delta, right? Like the delta for this is that. Does it kind of make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so my idea here is a BFS where we check um like all of its dependencies and then update those and then um update the children of all those dependencies as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How would that look like?
So first of all we need to go up there from import default dict and DQ, right? So what is the problem here? Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to pass itself. Okay, so we're gonna initialize a queue, right? Q is equal to DQ this, and then we pass in this, and then row col. So now that we have that, we need to go check update all its dependencies by the delta. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so so while Q, so while this there's elements in here, we're gonna go ahead and do row col equal or per row per col is equal to q dot pop left, right? So we got these. Now we need to so is this pre or post updating the okay. So now we have to update all of like we need first of all update itself, right? So self dot sheets at dot or at this that per row per column plus plus equal delta. Okay, now we got this. Now we have to go through everything that's its neighbors, right? So I think that here is the dependencies here. So the dependencies hash map. So for row, I guess for new row, new col, or I guess we can do adjacent. So adg row, adg col, and self dot dependencies dot val dependencies at cur row cur column dot so this is a set. I think we can just go through that, so we don't need to do anything else. Okay, so now we go through all of adjacent children, and then we do q dot append, and then what we're gonna append is adjacent row, adjacent column, and then I think that's it. What is it saying? In function append. Oh wait, it has to be two. What is the problem? Cannot be assigned to parameter of x type in function append. Is this fine, or do you want me to like fix this issue over here?
Wait, what's the issue? I don't see.
If you hover, it says like, because there's some type in cap. Bro, I don't know how to say that.
It's all good. I think I get what you're
Yeah.
doing here. So you penned. Okay, and then what?
Okay, so now we added the delta. We appended the new ones, and then their delta gets added, going all the way down, right? So I guess like here, what would I say is that, is there any sort of like like a dependency where one thing is like a, I don't know like how to say it in words, but
Cycle?
we're basically, yeah, cycle.
Nah, there's no cycle.
Okay, no cycle. All right, we're chilling. So we update that, and then I think this should be chill. Is there any case we're missing for like where it wouldn't work?
Where do we call it?
Oh, we're gonna call it in the set,
Okay,
but
okay.
like I'm just making sure this is fine. And I think here, since this is gonna update the value by the delta anyways, right? We don't have to do anything for that. And then here it would just be 0. So it would still run. It would just be like one extra function call, but
Sure.
I think we can just eat that up, like no problem. Now we have to call this propagate and pass in the arguments, right? So self dot underscore propagate pass in. I'm not sure if you have to pass in self again. And then what's the row? The column is going to be converted, and then the delta, which can just be 0 or that. What is the problem here? Expected 3 arguments. Okay, so I guess we don't have to pass in self. Okay, so this will propagate. And then one other case is going to be when we do a set, it propagates, but I think it like overwrites something, right? So the sum remains active until by another set or some, right? So oh man, this is like this shit has so many edge cases.
There's a lot of edge cases.
Okay, so if the current row and column is being edited and it's a dependency of something, then we have to update those things. But if it itself has some sort of formula, then we have to remove that formula. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have to check this formulas with and see if this thing is in it, right? So, I like and regardless, we still have to update the children. It's just like its formula gets deleted, but the things that it's dependent on don't get deleted, right? So here we updated that, and then if this row converted in self dot formula del self dot formula at row converted. What is the problem? Okay, converted is not defined. Oh, I think I might have. Oh wait, this is like fully the wrong place. My bad. Yo, it's too much code on the screen. All right, there we go. Okay. Let's see what other like things. Let's go and look at our notes. So default row value, if cell is overwritten, formula no longer exists. And then so if this formula no longer exists, do we have to change any other state, right? So I don't think we do. A dependency that cell row got add converted. I think we actually have to remove it from all of these dependencies as well. Let me just think that through real quick. So wait, do you think that's the right idea here? Just remove it from all the dependencies as well?
What do you think? So like we have a chain, right? We have a chain. We update something in the middle of the chain.
Yeah, I think we have to remove it
Like
from.
what if we update the parent and the parent still thinks that its child, it has a specific child, you'll like update for no reason, right?
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, we have to go ahead and update that as well. So update this stat remove from self.dep basically. So for I or for row call. Oh no, it's just gonna be sets, right? So wait, I think we might be able to do some sort of fancier way of doing this, right? So we had this
Let's just
mapping.
focus on getting it right. Other like instead of being fancy, unless you think it's way cleaner.
I mean, no, like I'll just code it up, right? So we had this we had a mapping over here, which was what is this a dependency of, right?
Yeah.
Now we have to go through all of those and remove that, right? So for row or for it's gonna be a set. So for set in for S in self dot dependencies. Okay. Self dot dependencies at row converted, right? So everything that was a dependency of this, these things need to get removed, right? So and 1 second, I think since it's wait, my AirPod just died.
No,
You do def row def call self dot dependency at def row def call dot remove this row converted.
Well, it's
And then
feedbacking.
what happened? Oh, okay, wait.
Or I can like hear myself.
Let me see if I can just do this. Or wait, I'll just wear wired headphones.
Okay, I'll let you wait. But anyways, it's like at 56 minutes. Let's just get into like the feedback portion.
All right,
But
sure.
like, let me know when you hook up your headphones.
Bro, this thing's kind of cooked. 1 sec. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm ready. I set
Okay.
up the wire.
All right. So, how do you think you did? How was that question for you?
I think I was kind of slow. I think I might have spent too much time like just getting the design over, and then implementation wise, like this thing has a lot of edge cases, so
Yeah.
you just have to be pretty fast at coding for this, which I think I was decently fast, but definitely like this would not be done in like 45 minutes because a lot of edge cases, and I think especially if we test out the code, like there's gonna be a couple issues.
Yeah. Okay. So let me think about it. I think definitely you clarified the question well. You understand exactly what's happening. You did a lot of upfront thinking on mostly about like how you're gonna structure the state of the Excel sheet. That made
Mm-hmm.
sense. And yeah, you talked through the different ways that you would do it. But then I think one thing is with the summation, it took some prompting for me to get you to think of the recursive case where you
Yeah.
have a sum that goes to another sum to another sum. Like it basically forms a graph, and you could change any node in that tree, and it should update anything under it. So I think
Yeah.
like if you did, I think that cost you later in the interview because then you started uncovering all of the edge cases. Like if you update something in the middle of the tree, you're gonna have to update everything below it, and if you delete a node from the tree or reset it, you have to update like the parent as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think really try to think about the problem as a graph problem initially. Like the easier part of the question is just actually returning the cells, but the hard part
Yeah.
is like propagating it. So when you notice it's a graph question, you should start thinking about all the possible edge cases from a graph question, which is pretty common. Like, are there loops? What happens to the dependencies and the children, etc. Right.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So I think yeah. Let's see. I think you're not really using the default dictionary properly. Like you're calling get, but the whole point of using a default dict is so that when you just access it, there's a default value.
Yeah, I just remembered, like for example, here in the int, right? So we can actually just pass in default value and not an int, and then I think
Yeah.
I think in this case, okay. Let's see, it cannot be. Okay, yeah. So I know like there exists some
But
functionality
like
for this.
it for a default dict int, it's all the default is 0, and that's what we
Yeah, yeah,
wanted the
yeah.
default anyways. Like we didn't want to have custom default value.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of times when you tried to make it more fancy, like adding an extra default value or one
Mm-hmm.
lining something that you shouldn't have spent any time thinking about because the hard you should try to get to the meat of the problem where you're gonna show off the most, which is can you update the cells recursively and handle that versus like the little optimizations is not something I really worried about on this question.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, do you know what the rating for this is? This low key pretty hard.
It's a hard question, right? But when honestly at Rippling they asked me this too. Like they
Yeah.
ask this at companies, and they make you
Okay.
run
Okay.
it. They changed up the question, like, but this is a common question that was happening
Okay. Okay.
when I was graduating. But also with the adjacency list, you had two adjacency lists. You had the formula and dependency. You could also just to make it simpler, just have one adjacency list where
And then what would that hold?
just it will just hold like the neighbors. So you would just
Uh.
say the adjacency list when you would just store in the adjacency list that this is my cell, these are its parents, and then this is the parent, and then this is its child,
Uh.
something like that.
Okay. Wait. Can you like draw out the structure, Loki?
It would just like think of a way that you could just turn this state or these two default dicks into one, like with
Okay.
just having one dependencies.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking like because I think for the other way, or at least the way I'm thinking of it, if we want to find like any like for example the inverse of something, then we have to go through every single one of the value. And okay, wait, there. Okay. So if we have to go through every single one of the values and check if this is like in that to find the inverse, because like we have to go through all the sets and see if this is a child of something. I
Mhm.
might be wrong though. I'm not sure. Like there's probably a way to do it though.
Yeah,
Like the good way.
honestly, yeah, I'm not really docking on that. It's just like look for ways to make it cleaner. Like this for sure works, but the way I did it, I think I just had a single adjacency list, but I'm not sure. That's why I'm not really docking there, but I would look at that again.
All right.
Um, yeah, code could probably be a lot cleaner because I think just spend more time up front thinking about what the interesting part of the problem is gonna be.
Mhm.
I mean, like what's gonna be the hard part, and then the edge cases around there. Because a lot of
Okay.
things
So
you caught when you're coding, but you could have caught up front if you just visualized it like a graph problem,
sure.
more than like just like a dictionary problem.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because different things
I think.
different things you caught along the way, like when you set a value and it has dependencies. Near the end, with like a couple minutes left, you realize, oh yeah, I have to tell my dependencies that it shouldn't update me anymore because I broke the chain.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, this is a harder question, so I think you did pretty good.
Yeah, the rating on this is 2400. That's
Really?
crazy.
On zero
Yeah.
track?
On C list. I mean, I think it's
Oh,
probably similar on zero track.
okay.
Kind of crazy.
Interesting. Yeah. Nah, I think overall you found that it would just take a little bit more to implement, but
Yeah, this was pretty implementation heavy. I think like you have to kind of I think that you give really a good advice where you said like kind of just think about like the meat of the problem here, which is like, okay, this sum and then that recursive dependency case is gonna be basically like it's like basically the main thing the interviewer is looking for here. Like they don't really care if the get is fancy or the set is fancy,
yeah,
but just making sure to update that recursive dependency. I think that was a really good point.
yeah, like any of the clean code, there's like, I mean, every candidate's gonna get that at least, right? But like, will any
Mhm.
candidate be able to propagate the changes and
Yeah.
understand that? That's where I would focus my time on instead of cleaning up the other stuff. Even that's why like I don't really care that you made two dictionaries there. I think yeah, that obviously that would work, but it's more just like yeah.
Mhm.
I think you understood it, and I think you're like 99% on the way. If we ran it, it probably won't work, but
Yeah, definitely won't
but
work.
all right, man. Good luck on your stuff.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah,
That
hit me
sounds
up
good,
if you
but
need
thank you.
another. What year are you again? Like
Third.
okay, nice. All right. Did you already do any internships or not yet?
Yeah, Amazon.
Nice. Okay. Good luck, man. You got this. You got a bright future ahead.
Hey, thank you, bro. Take care.
All right. See
All right, done, no Cody.
ya. Peace. 2-2, Sam. All right. Okay. All right, chat. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. That was a nice 3-hour stream. We got a lot done. Strong no hire? Nah, that's a hire. I would say this is the one where you just have to ask a bunch of people, and depending on how they did, let's see. What I would say is honestly, most candidates would fold on this, but since he's interviewing for a hedge fund, the thing is, what I would do is ask the questions, and then it's not like I can't really make a decision off what I saw there because I haven't asked this question enough to get calibrated. I got asked this question at Rippling, but Loki, I already seen the question, so I just kind of pretended that I didn't see it and solved the question when they asked it for me. But yeah, it's I would say definitely not a no hire, definitely like a pass. But then we'd probably just have to rank. It would be a lean hire. Because it's a hard question. A lot of people would get stumped on this. A lot of people wouldn't even be able to handle the state, won't realize how to store the dependencies. There's like a BFS, there's like a set. There's a lot of things here. I, I I'll give it a yes because I like the guy. So that's and it would be hard to pass on a candidate like that got this close on a hard problem. You know what I mean? So you're gonna see him at Citadel. All right, chat. Catch y'all next week. We're gonna do more Code Forces and everything. But thanks for tuning in this weekend. I think we got a lot done. It's pretty fun. But have a good rest of the week. If you're working, hope you have a good work week. If you're studying in school, get it done. Soundboard frying you. Is it too loud? I can drop the volume, but it's all good. We'll think about that next week. Catch y'all.
This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and name chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, 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 Lico, beast mode. This is not my main thing, really I'm a coder. Coffee stains and name chains, I am such a loner. San Francisco bases got me slowly taking over. I can't wait to show you that I'm gonna take it over. Lico, beast mode, Lico, beast mode, Lico, beast mode.